This is Two Blokes Talking Electric Cars with Trevor Long and Stephen Fennick. Thanks to NRMA Insurance and Uniden.
Great to have your company, Two Blokes Talking Electric Cars, and we do thank the people at NRMA Insurance, helping over 3 million people across Australia protect the things they care about. And, of course, Uniden smart dash cams. Nothing better and nothing more important in our mind than having a dash cam in your car to protect your car and your word if in the event of any incident. So I'll tell you more about Uniden shortly. Stephen, good to see you, mate.
G'day, Trev. How are you going? Long drive to get here today, but that's a subject for another
my
day.
My favourite part about that is you're driving. You've gone from driving your Mercedes EQE, which is a large luxury sedan, to I've hooked you up this week with a Fiat 500 Abarth E, the electric. Yeah. Like this is the sports version of one of the coolest little cars, but the best part about it is it's bright blue. Yeah. And let's be honest,
quite small.
Stephen's not a small chap.
Yeah.
I'm
a big unit, and this is a very small car.
I'm taking photos of you in this car. That's what's happening.
Yeah, I'll get a few looks in it, actually. There's a few people that are wondering what the hell's going on.
Well, we might get your early thoughts on that a little bit later in the show. And we've got a bunch of calls to get through as well. We've got a caller shortly who's just picked up a brand new Polestar. Ooh. He's very excited. Right. Very excited.
Polestar 2.
And yes, and I don't know, he just says Polestar, so he might have got a different one. And someone that's keen to switch to electric, but has some questions about charging. So we'll cover all that very soon.
Like a tarpaulin today.
But there was an announcement last week from Evie Networks, and it's all about something that we've actually discussed a little bit on this show.
Yes, we have. I think they were listening.
Simplifying the charging process. So to tell us all, to break it down, Bernhard Conoplia from Evie Networks, the head of public chargers, and on the line. G'day, mate. How you doing?
I'm very well, guys. How are you?
Really, really good, mate. This is a really important step forward in my mind, in our mind, into making charging easier for people. Tell us about the announcement.
Well, we're really excited to be launching Autocharge on the network. This is a feature which is going to really simplify the charging experience for people. And basically how it works is drivers on the EV network will turn up, plug in, and go. That's it. It's going to be as simple as that. We asked our drivers, which feature was going to be most important for them on the network, and this is the one that came up on top. So really excited to get this over the line.
That was my question. I was going to ask. I'm sure this came from feedback because that's the number one thing that we hear is when you turn up to a charger, it's either not working or you're not a member of that particular that charging network, and you there's all these things, these barriers to get you charging. So this is refreshing to hear that you're listening to feedback from customers, and I think a lot of potential drivers are thinking, they're a bit fearful. This adds to their anxiety.
Well, I think it's really easy to use. So I've been trialling it over the last few weeks, and it's quite fun to just turn up and and plug in and go. And I've had a few people see me do this, and they're wondering what I'm doing as I'm testing it. And look, it's had a really good reception so far through testing, and excited to launch it.
Is it safe to say, Bernard, it's a very Tesla-like feature, because in the end, that's what Tesla owners can do, because the charger knows the car through some sort of wizardry. So is this essentially a Tesla-like feature for other vehicles? And, mate, how does it work? I've got a Kia EV9. I'm going to drive tomorrow down to Sutton's Forest. I'm probably going to pull up at the EV charger there. How does it work? How do I enroll? Assuming I'm on the program and it's all launched.
Yeah, so you sign up via the EV app, and once you've enabled the Autocharge feature, which is a really simple process, you'll be prompted to sign up for Autocharge through a few steps. Once you've done one charging session, then we can identify your car as part of your account. So you simply select that charging session, and then you've nominated that car as being your Autocharge car, and every time after that, all you need to do is plug in.
Wow. And is there any limitation? Are all EVs able to use this, or is it just for Teslas? Is it just for certain other brands? I'm assuming it's every EV can take part in this program.
There are some cars, some European cars that randomise their identifier.
That sounds
They are in a...
Is that Mercedes?
Yeah. Some of the Europeans, it might be the Volkswagen Group, but that's definitely in a minority of cars.
Okay.
Generally, most cars have a fixed identifier, and with that fixed identifier, you'll be able to use this feature no problem at all.
So what happens to those European cars? What did you say happens? They've got a random identifier. So they're is that like a safety feature? What is that?
You'd have to ask them. We're not sure exactly why that is, but it's probably I'm sure they find a good reason for it. But the vast majority of cars are not in that bucket, and it'll be really easy to use.
Well, I feel like what I'm understanding here is it's kind of like computers, and we're nerds, so we get this. But every computer has what's known as a MAC address, which is a unique identifier for your Wi-Fi card, and so it's a way that you can identify specific computers on your network. It's a way you can kick computers off your network and let them on. So I feel like your car has this identifier in the same way, and obviously these couple of European ones do this randomizing. But essentially, what you're saying is tomorrow I'll go charge my Kia EV9. I'll do it in the normal way, but then after that, I choose that session in the app, and then basically I say, listen, from now on, whenever I plug this car into the EV network, just bill me.
That's exactly how it'll work.
Wow.
Spot on.
and does this require you to roll this out to the chargers, or are they already compatible? Like, what works? Is this an instant, immediate thing people just need to sign up for?
It works across 83% of our network. We do have some slightly older chargers that are not compatible with this, but as we're building out more and more charging stations, all of the new ones support it. Sites that we are upgrading and expanding will support it. So 83% will become a higher and higher number. It's already supported on the vast majority of the network.
And is it true, Bernhard, that every charger is powered by renewable energy?
100%. That's right. So we make sure that every megawatt hour of electricity we purchase is matched to large generation certificates. So we can say that the electricity that we're buying off the grid is matched to renewable generation.
That's a critical thing. And look, while we're talking charging, it's one of the most, and we talk to 2 to 3 listeners a week, and the excitement among new owners is there, but there's also hesitation. You would probably hear this as well. And I will say to you very clearly, I've never had this experience on an EV charger, so touch wood, but the biggest problem or biggest concern people have is, where do I charge and will it work? So what do you say to people who have that concern around public chargers and their availability and their uptime and downtime?
Well, for starters, we are at 255 sites across Australia. We've got over 630 bays of charging. That is all built, owned and operated by Evie, and that has doubled in the last year. We're going to continue rolling out at pace, so people are going to have more and more options for public fast charging. We also take operating the network very, very seriously. We've got a dedicated team, and we're right up there with the best in the industry in terms of availability of those chargers. It's about 97% available on a per charger basis across the network.
That's pretty good.
And our team's working 7 days a week, working really closely with suppliers to make sure chargers are always working and fixed quickly.
I guess it's in your best interest to have that uptime, because the charger's not working. Your drivers aren't charging. You're not making money. So it's in your best interest to have that working as best you can, isn't it?
Absolutely. Because we build, own and operate the network, it is 100% in our interest to make sure people are getting the best experience possible.
And you mentioned it was a year-on-year growth, like you doubled your charging. So can we expect similar? You touched on it earlier. Can we look forward to that sort of exponential growth across the country even more?
Absolutely. We are continuing to roll out at pace. You can expect a lot more chargers coming in the near future. It's
a super competitive space you're in. Obviously, I think ChargeFox probably got the lead on a lot of people outside of Tesla. Then you've got these kind of brand-based chargers like the BPs and the Ampols. You'd have to be the biggest challenger brand out there, and probably with the most rapid growth, I would assume, just as an observation from the chargers that I use and the apps that I see.
So our network is almost exclusively public fast charging. And, the way we measure it, we've got the most sites and the most bays of public fast charging out there. Yes, Tesla has a large network as well, and there's lots of ChargeFox chargers and bays out there. But, we like to say we're the largest and we're growing very, very quickly.
Do we get to a point in the future, just finally, where, like today, people drive down the freeway and they choose a Shell versus a BP for loyalty reasons, for, Qantas points reasons, or they've got a loyalty to a thing, whereas right now you're driving to either your car's range or just simply the convenience of that spot. Do we get to a point in the future where people will literally choose between networks because they've got a loyalty? You'll probably introduce programs that give people that satisfaction. You've got this Autocharge feature. Do you see a future where it is that competitive that you'll be able to actually have one up on everyone just based on, you could be right next to them, people will still choose you?
When we used to survey people a few years ago, they just wanted the chargers to be there, and they didn't care whose chargers they were.
Yeah.
And now that range anxiety has probably moved to making sure these chargers are reliable.
Yep.
And so people will gravitate towards networks that are known for their reliability and also have a great presence. And also, you'll have your normal habits. You'll want to go and charge while you're parking and going about other activities. So, we see a lot of people preferring our chargers in shopping centres over, some of the petrol station chargers, because you go to a shopping centre and you can do your grocery shopping and come back and your car is fully charged, versus going to a petrol station where you might have to wait there for half an hour and there's not much else to do. So you'll really choose your charging around your natural behaviours.
Well, the charger I'm choosing tomorrow is just next to a McDonald's, so that's natural behaviour for me, Bernhard.
A couple of cheeseburgers. Go down.
Absolutely.
Bernhard, great to talk to you, mate. Hopefully we can talk many more times, because we love the industry and we're advocates for it, and I think there's a lot that can be done to continue to advocate for it to the general public and the new EV owners, let alone those that are already in the game. Head of public charging for EV Networks, Bernhard Conoplia, mate. We really appreciate your time, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, great stuff. I mean, that Autocharge, mate, that is unbelievable.
Well, anything that
that's
makes
what you used to do in a Tesla.
Exactly right. Anything that makes it easier for the user, for the driver, then I'm all for it. And that's I think the goal for any business would be, if you can make it easier for your customer to spend money with you, then go for it.
And the thing is, isn't it interesting? You think about first mover advantage, right?
Yeah.
So Evie is the first to do this. And this is obviously for Tesla owners, they'll be like, we've always been able to do that. I'm just going to ignore those people for now. Yeah. But, for a Polestar owner, for a Kia owner, for whatever, Mercedes, whatever, when you plug in, you go, oh my God, that was so much easier. So tomorrow I'll do it, I'll set it up. And then on the way back, it'll be like, clink, go, walk away.
He did say you got to do it once to register your car, and then from then on, you're good. I'm a bit worried about the Volkswagen Group cars not.
Well, that's my Cupra.
Really? So that's I'm Dame LaChrysler.
You're Dame LaChrysler. Yeah, my Cupra could be an issue.
Ooh.
But I didn't ask him, but I imply from the way he said it, I imply you can only have one car on your account, because he said that's the car.
Yes.
I may be reading too much into that.
Set up an account in your wife's name.
I'd really take the Cupra to would rarely need, because we'll always do road trips for the family in the big car. So
fair enough.
That is great news. Autocharge is what it's called, and that's exclusive at the moment to the EV network. So EVIE is, and I didn't, mate, to be honest, with the breaking news to me, I didn't realise they were bigger than ChargeFox in terms of number of bays.
Yeah, he quickly corrected us on that one.
You can't sell a secret, folks.
There you go.
All right, two blokes talking electric cars. Wow.
You like that one, don't you?
I'm
You
hyped
like it?
now.
Yeah, you're
I'm
pumped.
ready to go.
Just pumped.
Loving every minute of it. Two blokes
Calm down, mate.
talking electric cars. Well, you're pretty fired up today, so I'm trying to match your energy.
Fired up, all right. Yeah. But you know what? Not as fired up as I was when I got my first EV.
Oh, really?
I remember the day. I don't even remember the date.
about
That's
you
what a
reminiscing?
nerd I am, right? It was May 31st, 2018, when I got my Tesla Model S, my first EV. And I still, it's not quite as important.
Is that an anniversary in your diary now?
Well, it's something you remember. It's something you that I look back on fondly and thinking, wow, I'm driving an EV now.
Well,
our listener,
let's go to the
is
calls.
in that exact spot.
0477 657 657. Nick, I believe you are probably setting a date in your diary as we speak.
Exactly. Well, I actually picked up my first EV yesterday, so a brand new Polestar 2.
And how excited, mate, to be honest, how excited were you before that day?
Oh, look, is there anything better than new car day? And
nothing.
Adding to that, new EV car day. So, pretty excited.
Wow. So first EV, talk us through the process that led you to the Polestar.
Yeah, okay. So a bit of context. I had an Audi Q3 for about 12 months, but I just wasn't happy with it, right? Like no power, didn't enjoy the DSG transmission and just really wanted something a bit more fun to drive. So I was pretty keen to change vehicles and but didn't want to spend too much. So, originally I was thinking of going back to Audi, maybe getting into an SQ2 demo, a bit smaller, but plenty more power, a bit more fun to drive. But the Minister for Home Affairs, my wife, wasn't convinced that it was the right car. Didn't love the look of it. And so I suggested we should take a look at the Polestar 2 and take it for a test drive. It was going to cost a bit more, but we'd been keen to get into an EV. Turned out they had a great offer on at the moment on their model year 24 vehicles. And look, I had considered it 12 months ago, but I'm not sure you remember, the 23 model didn't come with a lot of basic safety features like lane keeping, blind spot monitoring, 360 camera, etc. They're all add-ons, and the price point just wasn't there for us. But look, updated model, better spec, and the current offer kind of made it a more viable option for us. So, once we test drove it, we were basically sold. Just loved the look and feel of the car, and just like everyone else, blown away by the instant power, the silence.
Yeah.
And for us, the Polestar 2 it strikes the right balance between a futuristic EV and a normal car. Yeah. So especially in interior.
I've got to say, the Polestar 2 is a good looking car.
It is.
I can remember getting a drive of that car like in November, and it wasn't coming out in Australia till February. I don't know why I got it so early. I had people stopping me in the street. Yeah, blocking my. And
I actually think the updated model looks a little better because that front they've covered up the front.
Yeah, they've taken that grill out.
It was incredible. Yeah.
Did you not consider anything else? Did you shop around at all?
Yeah, so look, probably did it a bit back to front. So we took it for test drive, put the deposit down, but they're pretty good. They say you got 2 weeks. If you change your mind, no problem, no questions asked. You'll get it back. So did a lot more research in that period. Obviously, starting to listen to you guys. Did a lot of Googling and look, I probably would have considered the Tesla 3, of course, the BYD Seal, but look, they're probably better spec from a luxury perspective. But for me, in terms of what I was looking for and my, what suited me better, I kind of preferred the Tesla. A couple of others I would have considered, probably the Kia EV6 or the Hyundai Ioniq, but to be honest, you're looking at probably 20k more to get into their dual motor all-wheel drive variants.
It's a step up.
It's a step up, and with the current offer, I was basically able to get into a long-range dual motor for less than 70k. So it kind of just made sense.
That is a good deal.
Yeah.
Wow. And so, and you said you'd been at this for a while, looking at stuff, and you mentioned you drove an Audi. Were you an Audi driver all the time, or had gone from brand to brand?
No, I drove a VW Golf before the Audi, but we do have our other family car is a Volvo XC60. So we kind of stayed in the Volvo family a little bit. I know they've obviously taken their investment out of Polestar, but it's not too dissimilar.
Yeah.
Now, what have you done charging-wise, and how much research did you do into that, or are you pretty au fait and ready to go?
Yeah, good question. So it was funny when we went and test drove the car. Polestar kind of glazed over the home charging bit. They said, you got this, the granny charger included, which is great. You shouldn't be anything more than that, but see how you go. But as soon as I started doing my research and listening to this pod, of course, everyone seems to say if you're going to do it right, get a charger installed at home. And look, we've got a double car garage. We have the means to do it. So I'm getting a 7.4 kilowatt charger installed next week.
Perfect.
So
it'll just take the stress away.
Absolutely.
Yeah, correct.
What sort of driving do you do, Nick? Well, how far do you drive?
Look, to be honest, not a lot. It's our second car. I'll commute to work. Obviously driving the kids around if I have to, but we've got that other family car there if we need it. This is our second car, which is why I want it to be a bit of fun, more enjoyable. And for me, like just going to EV, it just makes sense, right? If someone said to you, how would you like your own petrol pump at home with effectively free,
exactly,
or at the very least, very cheap fuel, who would say no to that?
Well, that's why, Nick,
that's effectively an EV.
I want to talk to you again in, say, 3 to 6 months, because I reckon I reckon that'll become almost your primary car. You got 2 kids or 3?
2 kids.
Yeah,
No,
so-
and they rode in it when we picked it up. No issues in the backseat. They love it.
And see, this is the thing. With 3 kids, it's a hassle to put 3 kids in because they're playing corners. It's a bit more drama, right? But with 2 kids, that is enough. You could go pretty as long as you're not packing too much. That could take you anywhere, right?
Yeah.
So I think you'll start to do what a lot of people do and go. Actually, petrol prices, right
let's
now,
go longer trip.
and
Yeah,
you'll start. It might just become the first car. In more ways than you expect. And I think that'll be an interesting transition for you to see whether over that ownership period, whether you start to think, actually, this is a great car for us.
There'll be more chargers out there. They're growing. All the numbers are getting.
Yeah, that's right.
You're going to find more. So I think, you're going to be a little bit more adventurous, I think. And
What'd you do? White or grey?
Well, kind of blue. It's blue. It's
blue.
midnight blue.
I picked
Okay, right.
So,
Stephen picked it
pretty
again.
good. Even better in person.
Yeah, I picked it.
I haven't seen many of those. I see a fair few of the grey and a lot of the white, but I think you
Yeah,
picked
there's
the
lots
good
of
colour.
white.
I like that colour. That blue's good.
Yeah,
That's
nice.
what I would have done, Nick. Good work, mate.
Seal of approval from Stephen Fennick. Well, mate, congratulations
Brilliant.
on New Car Week. You put it in
Yeah.
your
Thanks,
diary,
fellas.
as Stephen does.
Remember
Remember the date.
Remember that date. I remember my date. Remember your EV date.
No, I
Bring
won't
yourself
forget
a
mine.
bunch
Won't
of
forget
flowers
mine.
every year.
Yeah. And good that your wife likes it too, mate. That's important.
Critical.
Yeah.
Oh, she loves it. She loves the acceleration, so I reckon she'll be begging to get in it pretty soon.
Can you get her to talk to my wife?
You might be
She
you might be
hates-
fighting over it, maybe. Who knows? Like,
I reckon.
oh, okay. You might have to buy a second one, mate.
Is there a lease on the other car, on the main car?
No, we've bought the cars outright, so
Yeah, let's
look, I
just-
reckon.
I'm going to put money on there being a second EV with it. Like,
the- yeah,
what was the
double
second
car
car? Did
garage.
you say? Sorry, what's the other car?
Volvo
Volvo
XC60.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be options, mate.
There's, some nice Volvo
Oh,
EVs too. We've driven a few Volvo EVs.
If
Very
Greg
nice
Bosnich
cars.
is listening, let's make
We
sure
have to
Nick's
get
on
a
the
commi-
mailing list. You
We'll
know,
have to get a commission.
When's the electric XC60 coming out? Because that would
I
be
think
right
that's
now.
early next year.
well, the bottom line is they're going full electric, so it can't be too many years
Be
away,
early
can
next
it?
year. I hear.
Yeah.
The XC30 was this year.
This year,
That's out already. But the 60
Yeah,
I
that's
hear
right,
in
yep.
February is what my
Look
mail
out,
is.
Nick.
Yeah.
I can't see us going back away
good
from
on you,
EVs
mate.
from this.
Well done, mate.
Good work,
Great to chat
good
to you.
choice.
And enjoy the car, my
Thanks,
friend.
guys.
Thanks a lot, Nick.
Love the
Cheers,
pod.
Nick.
Good on you.
Good on you, mate. Thanks for getting in touch. What a legend. That's a great story because it is.
That's an enthusiastic owner right there. Good on him.
Got the wife
Make
on
it-
board.
and he ticked all the boxes for like petrol prices are high. Having a charger at home is like having your own petrol bowser.
Isn't it
like,
interesting
yeah.
though? The Polestar thing has gone very, very well, and I think it's actually good marketing because it's just subtle. It's just look at this car. It's a good looking car.
Well, it's a standout looking car. I remember that I was telling you
Yeah.
before. I had people stopping me in the middle of the road saying, "What is this car? Where is it? What is this?" They couldn't believe it. So it is an eye-catching car.
Nice stuff.
Yeah.
If you've got an EV, you're in the market for an EV, or you just want to chat EVs, get in touch 0477 657 657. Mate.
You need the wide shot to see that.
Do not do what? How would you describe that
I don't know.
motion?
Isn't that like the
wave?
Yeah, the wave.
No,
yeah.
but not Mexican wave, folks.
It's the wave.
If you're listening, now would be a great opportunity to find
Yeah,
the
jump
video
on
version of
YouTube.
this podcast.
You've got to see that. You've got to
because
see the
Stephen
moves.
just did. It's the worm with your arms. You know the.
Yeah. I think it was pretty good, mate.
But you did it while I took a
Pretty
drink of water
graceful.
and I nearly spat it at you.
Yeah. Thanks, mate.
that was
Thanks
pretty-
for holding it in.
Yeah, it was resistance. 0477 657 657 if you want to talk EVs. Ian's on the line. G'day, Ian.
How are you?
Yeah, real good, mate. What's your EV situation, buddy? You got one? You looking for one?
Looking to pull the trigger and get one. So I think
Wow.
it's time to
So, well, what
jump into the EV market.
What do you have now, Ian, and what have you got your eye on?
So I'm driving around in a 4x4 Ute, and the wife's got a Prado. And she's now working from home. 2 of the kids are getting older, so they're not really a requirement anymore. And it's time to she's working from home, so time to switch to an electric.
Okay.
Wow.
Anything on the short
So-
list, mate? Have you done your homework? What's the go?
Yeah, done a little bit and thinking iX3,
Ooh, nice.
so BMW.
So you're downsizing essentially because that's nowhere near the space of a Prado. So you're literally saying to the kids, nick off.
You're on your own, kids. Is that what you're saying?
Well, one's nearly 19.
Yep.
So she's driving. One's nearly 17, so he's not far off. And then we've got a nearly 5-year-old as well. So we got him for a little while longer.
Okay. It's an interesting choice because, it's a beautiful car. Have you driven one yet?
I have. I've driven that, the Mercedes EQB.
Nice.
And going to go look at the Audi Q3 e-tron, but I think that's going to be a bit small.
Someone has a penchant for German luxury cars.
Yes.
I think the missus is pushing a bit more that if we're going to get rid of a car she loves, because the Prado's only 4 years old, it's only done like 70,000 K and is brilliant. It's been a great car.
Yep.
She wants something nice.
Who are you? And who are you to disagree, Ian?
Absolutely.
That's it. I know.
Well, that's
It's
good.
not worth the fight. So it's a good one.
Those cars you just listed, have you driven those yet or not?
I've driven the Beamer and the Merc, but can't get hold of an Audi to drive yet. So,
Is there anything that's worrying you about pulling the trigger on going EV?
Mainly just she doesn't do big trips, so that's not an issue. And it's just whether I've got to change over that, get the wall box on the wall at home, or can I charge via a normal power point?
What sort of K is she going to do every day?
At worst, it'll be a 30K to drop the older boy at school, and then 30, that's it there and back. So twice a day, 30K a day maximum.
Okay.
So it's fascinating because my wife pretty much exclusively drives the EV9. She doesn't let me really, although I'm stealing it tomorrow. I don't think she realises that. But anyway, my wife works 10 minutes from home, so it wouldn't be 20Ks. It's not far.
Yeah.
But it does surprise me how quickly she goes through the battery. Now, that's because it's a lot of little trips, to the shops. The things that, and this is completely, male-centric, but it's like the things that I'm not accepting or realising that she's doing for the family, just ducking around doing all these things. So what we've ended up doing is, and she's really adopted this very well. I get the notification that the car started charging. I think, oh, good one, babe, well done.
Yeah.
Is once or twice a week, she'll just plug it in. Now, your wife works from home, did you say?
Yeah.
So ideal to just charge when you're at home. It depending on your circumstance do you have solar, your electricity rates and things like that. But often daytime charging, even without solar, is more affordable. So just plugging it in when you're at home. But if she's at home every day, see, my wife works 3 days away and she's at home 2 days, I wouldn't go granny charger because it requires a lengthy charge a couple of times a week. Or overnight every night kind of thing. Overnight. And I don't think overnight every night is going to happen for us. So depends on how you feel about the circumstances. But I love, and Stephen, not about you, but I love the idea that, so tonight I'm going to put the car to 100, right? Because we're going to go for a big drive.
Yeah.
I know
plug
that
it in.
Doesn't matter if I get home at 1 a.m. tonight, I can plug it in. It will absolutely be ready for me in the morning. And that's a convenience
peace of mind.
that the wall-mounted, the wall box chargers provide.
I've got the same. I've got a wall charger in my place too. So, it does give you that peace of mind, knowing, I know every time I drive out to Trevor's here, he lives far out, he lives in the country, I know that if I can just plug it in for half an hour or an hour, I'm good. That'll cover the trip. So I'd advise you getting it.
Well, I guess that's where I'm confused, because you get one salesperson tell you that the wall box charges at a certain rate and I'll be able to do it in, say, 6 hours overnight.
Yeah.
But then I've got another salesperson from the same company, just different dealership, saying their normal plug-in one they give you with it charges at the same rate.
Yeah.
No. Well,
you've got to remember, though, you need to remember that you're not charging the car to 100% every night.
No.
You're just topping up. You're just topping up what you've used, or maybe you might charge 2 or 3 times a week, and that'll do you for the week. Everyone's different, but
so I think what you need to realise is that, and sometimes the kilometres per hour thing is a fun one to look at, but the total charge time is also useful. So. Just looking online, the charging speeds for a BMW iX3 on a plugged-in granny charger, you're talking about 24 hours to charge, essentially to full, right?
Yeah.
But with a wall box 7, just a 7 kilowatt wall box, it's going to do that in 7 hours, 7.5 hours.
Yeah.
Now, if you've got 3-phase and you can do 11 kilowatts, then even better, it'll do it even faster. I don't know if the BMW does 22, but if it does, it'll do it in 5 hours. So, look, the thing is, your wife is not depleting the battery down to 20% in one day. No. She's going to go from 80 down to 65 one day, and 80 down to 55 one day, and some days 80 down to 70. And so plugging it in for 4 hours on a granny charger is going to top it up.
Okay.
Yeah, you got to also think about too, and this was in the back of my mind too, is that eventually my wife's going to have an EV. Like I've got one, and my wife's going to have one. She already agrees that the next car is going to be an EV.
Yeah.
So having that, I think future-proofing your home there, future-proofing your situation, I think that's worthy of the investment as well.
Okay, so then do I go BMW's wall box? Do I go
honestly,
an
shop
aftermarket
around,
brand
mate,
wall
yeah.
box?
Honestly, mate, shop around. Because Stephen and I both went with the actual brand wall box.
Yeah, wall box is the actual brand.
For a
we've
couple
got,
of reasons. It has a great app. It has solar integration so that you can actually set it so that it only charges off solar. A few things like that.
Yeah.
You know, mate, Tesla make a wall box or a charger or a home charger that's like $750, which is like $500 cheaper than one we bought, and then you just get installation. So, mate, just don't buy on Alibaba or something like that. Buy from a reputable Australian salesman.
dealer. And unless you're an electrician yourself, get an electrician to install it.
Get an electrician.
Yeah, do it. Get a pro to do
Look,
it.
if you can stump up, get a charger. It'll just give you peace of mind, mate, honestly.
Yeah.
Yep. Thanks for the advice.
Good luck, mate. I'm excited to hear from you when you get the car.
We'd like to, let us know when you do get it. We'd like to hear your story when you've had it for a few months too.
Certainly will, and keep up the great podcast.
Appreciate it, mate.
Ian.
Thanks for getting in touch.
Care,
what a legend. And, you know, skipping, it's important to listen to the wife, mate. Downside for Prado, so you want something good. So what about that Mercedes, BMW, Audi?
Funny,
it's all
my
happening.
wife wasn't pushing for a European car.
Oh, she will.
She wasn't asking.
Mate,
I just said, that's
I know your wife's taste in handbags, and she will.
Yeah.
She won't. I mean, you know what I really would love to see when we get to it, and it's true. I'd love to see Joe's reaction to like the EV5.
Yeah.
Well, I think, and the EV3 is even smaller, but you know,
she drives a petrol Kia at the moment.
That's what I'm saying. You know,
I think
she's a Kia girl, so maybe she could be in the family.
She's actually spotted a few that she liked that are nice size. I think one of them was a Kia.
Yeah, right.
I said, well, that's good. Stay in the brand.
When a few more of the new model style Kias come down, because the EV6 is now quite an old shape and style.
Yeah.
When that EV5 and there's an EV3 in there, there's even a smaller one. So when they come out, it's like, hang on a minute, this is the perfect runabout.
Be great.
She's going to love it.
Yeah. She's got to remember to plug it in, though. That's all. She won't forget that. I'll remind her.
You'll do it.
Well, how long did your wife take to get used to that?
3 weeks.
There you go.
Yeah, and you know what? It only takes the car going to 20% one day and that battery level changing from green to yellow for you to go, hang on a minute. Yeah. Plus, having the app and having it notify you of things is, I think, important.
That's good. Yeah.
So not a bad thing at all.
I told Joe, it's just one other thing you got to charge. You can charge your phone, your watch, charge your car as well.
Yeah, or you could do it for me. Yeah.
In one day too, I also had software updates across all my devices too. I remember having a software update on my phone, on my watch, and also on my Tesla.
I got one
same day.
I got a notice from Kia in the app, OTA update complete, and I'm like, oh, this is while I was in Paris.
Wow.
And I'm like, I didn't even know it was doing that.
Wow.
Because I got it serviced just a few weeks ago.
Service, really, already?
Just 5,000 K check or whatever. Yeah. Plus, there was a large kind of issue with the underlying platform of Kia and Hyundai. It's a recall, but like it's not a problem. But I did have the problem where I charged it overnight and the 12-volt battery died. This was like in the first 2 weeks of owning it.
Oh wow!
And it was a known issue. Like all the forums talk about it, and I just didn't do that again until I got the update done, and now it's completely fine. So that update must have brought in some new over-the-air stuff, and so she's doing live updates now. It's unbelievable.
Fantastic. The future's here, mate.
The future is now, ladies and gentlemen. And the future is here on Two Blokes Talking Electric Cars. Thank you to NRMA Insurance and Uniden Smart Dash Cams. We'd love to hear from you if you've got an electric car, looking to buy an electric car, or if there's someone you'd like us to talk to, let us know who you want to hear us talk to. We'll reach out, we'll find them, and we'll get them here on Two Blokes Talking Electric Cars.
We're
always happy to help.
We're happy to help.
And we're happy to have you make suggestions on how we can, who we can have on the show. Yeah. Produce the show for us. Because I'll be honest, I only think about it an hour ago. And that makes it complicated.
Save us the time. Volunteer.
Yeah.
That's good.
Thanks for listening, Stephen. We'll see you next week.
Take care, mate.
You, mate.